بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. In last classes, we studied some of the most of the HTML concepts. We studied the tags. We studied different types of text tags. We studied empty tags related to images, related to links, other text formatting, and so on. In today's class, our topic is HTML media, in which we will discuss the how we can integrate the audio files inside a website, how we can show videos in our website, and there are some concepts like meta tag, what is a meta tag, and so on. So let's dive into today's class. Our first topic is linking HTML files. So far, we were working in a single HTML file in which we were able to create the different kind of elements, but all those elements were in a single page. Like for example, we have already seen that if you want to create an HTML file, I told you earlier that if the file is a single file, so start always from naming it is index.html, because one index.html in a repository or in a folder is necessary in your HTML project. So far we were doing, we were creating the all the elements, or all the we were writing all the HTML code inside a single HTML file. So let's say I have this file, and today is our fourth class, and I will today our topic is HTML media takes in other concepts, right? So as you know, my convention is that I always start from h1, and all right, and let's say we have a paragraph tag, and inside the paragraph tag we have some random text, right? Okay, now now yeah, I have started recording. Yeah, it's recording. Okay. So we have this index.html file in which I can create different types of HTML elements. So what if we want to have different pages? How we can redirect from one page to another page, right? So for example, we have studied links. Let's say we have a div in which I have links, right? Different links. Let's say, for example, I have the Google link, I have the YouTube link, and I have the Facebook link, right? I have different links. Now, if we want this link to work, we have to provide the href attribute. We have to provide a value in the href attribute, which needs to be a proper URL. So for defining a proper URL, we should start from the protocol. And inshallah, sometime we will discuss also the protocol as well. What are the protocols and so on. In simple words, for now, just understand that protocol is a set of rules, following which communication between two computers happen. For example, let's say I'm communicating with Jafar, right? Two humans are communicating. So the normal etiquettes, or the normal, you can say the normal way to communicate between two humans is to first do greetings. Like when two humans talk, they first greet each other, and then they ask they share the health updates, like how are you, I'm fine, so on, and then they come to the main topic. So this is a kind of set of rules for the communication of two persons. You start from greetings, then you ask the health questions, or the health related questions, and then you start the normal conversation. So this is a protocol, right? In the same manner, computers do have protocols for different kind of communications as well. One of the communication type is the HTTP, right? If two computer wants, like the client and the server wants to communicate with each other, and the client requests to the server, and the server responds big according to the request, with a proper response in the form of text, which is HTML file sometimes, This is all text, right? But we know that in this text, it is basically an HTML code. So for that communication, we have the HTTP protocol. So this is a proper protocol in which a specific set of rules are followed. So google.com, and then protocol name HTTPS, and youtube.com, and then we have the HTTPS facebook.com, right? Okay, let me save it and let me open this file. So in my classwork, I have my index.html file, and you can see there are three links. I can go to the Facebook, I can go to the YouTube, and I can go to the Google as well. If you want to open this file in another tab, I guess we have already studied that we have to provide the um, target attribute, which is target, and we have to provide the underscore blank value to the target attribute. And when I refresh it, and now when I click on Google, you can see it is opening the Google site in another tab. So this is how that for the time being, we know that how these links work, and we already know it, right? So how, let's say, what is my purpose now? I want to have different pages. Like for example, I have a contact.html page, and inside this contact.html page, I have some contact information about my business, right? So let's say I have h1 and contact us, and let's say Lawrence, correct? And then I have another page, and this is about.html, right? And in this about.html, about us or about.html, I have the information of about us. We are bunch of motivated students learning web development. God bless us. Okay, so I have this about.html page. Now I want that I have a home page. I should have a home link, then I should have a contact link, and then about link. So using those links, how I can redirect from this page to those pages? So for that, it's easy peasy. Let's say I want this is home link, this is the link to the contact page, and this is link to the about page. And this is very normal concept. Let me walk through some website. Let's say Mamba. So see, now it's not loaded, but this is a single website, right? And you know, a single website is not one page. It contains it is it consists of multiple pages, and from that one page you can navigate to the different pages. And the same thing we want also in our website. Please load, please. Bootstrap mate. I guess my internet is so slow. Now see, if I click on this contact page, right? So it is redirecting me to another page which is of the same website, right? But it is another page. So for implementing this functionality, I have to write the correct links, and then how I can link these links to my pages. So if I want to redirect it to contact.html, just write the name of that file. Very easy peasy. And let's say I'm redirecting it to the about, so about.html. And for since it is on clicking home page, I want to redirect it to the index.html, so I will write index.html. Correct? So when I refresh it, so I am already in the home page. So when I click on the home page, nothing will happen. And uh, so since we have written the target blank, so it will open the home page in another tab. And as you can see, I clicked on this and it opened this tab. All right, so when I click on the contact page, it redirects me to the contact page, and when I click on the about page, so the about page is shown. Now the same links I wanted the same links in all the pages. So what is the easy peasy way? Just copy it, paste it, also paste it over here, so that from every page we can do the navigation instead of going back and forth. So when I refresh it, in the about us I have the about link, contact link, and home link. So when I click on the contact, I can go to the contact us page, and by clicking home page I can go to the home page. So that is how we can link different pages. All right, so now the time of meta tag has come. What is a meta tag? Over here you can see meta tags, right? When we write HTML5 and the boilerplate that is generated by the Visual Studio Code contains some meta tags. So what are these meta tags? Whenever you hear meta or metadata in the computers, in the web development or the development field, it means configuration, not always, but configuration data related to something. For example, if someone says metadata of a website, so it means that the metadata means the configuration data or the settings data of a website. Like for example, in which language this website is, what is the default width of this website, what is the character set that is being used by this website, and so on. So metadata about the data is basically the extra information or the configuration data of the data. So these meta tags in these meta tags are basically the configuration tags, or they contain the metadata of a website. So for specifying the character set of a website, what does the character set mean? The character set is basically every character is represented by a specific binary code in the machine language. You know that everything, this M, this E, this T, this A, everything is represented by a code inside the machine. So if you see I will search for something and you will see the code of UTF-8 code for A. Let's say for capital letter A. So now see, for capital letter A, we have this code 010001, and this is F. This is basically not the long format. Let me go to the images. Maybe I could find it over here. So this is the whole character set. By the character set, I mean that this is the way the computer represents these character inside it. So let's say we have A and we are represent. Now you have to tell the computer how many bits you have to use to correct a single letter or a single character, right? For example, for representing A, how much bits a computer will use. So by bit means 0 or 1. Bit is 0 or 1. Collection of bits. By the collection of bits, we can represent different types of characters. So how many bits we have to combine to represent a single character, that is upon us. There are different character sets for that. So basically UTF-8 means that the computer will use 8 bits to represent a single letter. There are also character sets of 16 bits, and which is called UTF-16, UTF-32, and so on. Now look at uh what should I open to? My God. I want to visualize it. Let me check this one. Okay, forget about it. Just understand that we can represent the computer is representing every character by a combination of bits, and how many bits a computer will use to represent a character, it depends on the character set you are using. So if you are using UTF-8, so computer will use 8 bits to represent a single character, whether it's A, B, C, some symbol, or whatever it is. Now, how many bits, if you let's say see closely. Let me type it over here. Let's say I have 2 bits, right? So how many possible combinations I have? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Nice question. Okay, let me explain. So I was explaining that why we use it. Let's say I have a single bit, right? I want to represent characters by a single bit. So how many options I have? I have, what is a bit? It's either 0 or 1. So I can either write, if I want to represent some character by a single bit, so I have two options, either 0, either 1. It means that I can represent only two characters using one bit. What if I have two places? Let's say I have two places, right? One place and second place. So now using two bits, a combination of two digits, two binary digits, how many characters I can represent? So for that, we have how many combinations? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So it means that I can represent four characters using a combination of two bits. Now, what if I have the combination of three bits? So there is a formula for that, and it is 2 power, 2 power, and the number of bits that you want to use. So let's say I want to use two bits, right? So 2 power 2 is equal to 4. So it means that using 2 bits I can have four possible combinations. What if I have 3 bits? So 2 power 3 is 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8. So I have 8 possible combination. It means I can represent 8 characters using 3 bits. But we have a lot of characters. And if you see your keyboard, you have a lot of characters: A, B, C, D, E, F. You have letters, you have numbers, you have different spatial characters that cannot, they are not 8. The English letters are 26. We want some characters, a combination of bits that can represent around more than, like, around 100, right? So if we use 8 bits, so what are the possible combinations that are possible using 8 bits? So it is 256. So we can represent 256 characters using 8 bits. It means that using UTF-8 character set, we can represent 256 possible combinations, or 256 possible combinations which involve the capital letters of English, the small letters of English, the famous symbols that are in our keyboard, and so on. What if we want to use the 16 bits? So using 16 bits character set, you can 256 multiply 256, how many? It's maybe, I don't know, it's a big number. So for that, so using that character set, you can basically represent a lot of languages. You can you can say that that character set, uh, that character set basically can represent a lot of languages, like for example Arabic, Urdu, So UTF-16 can handle that, but UTF-8, it is not like it can represent only 256 characters. So that is why it cannot represent the different languages. So when we will use, okay, if it is the case that UTF-8 cannot represent multiple languages, so why we are even using it? It is because if you are using English, you don't want to use what Arabic in your website, let's say. So why to use UTF-16 bit? Because UTF-16, every character will occupy 16 bit. So basically the same data will occupy more space in your memory than the UTF-8. So that is why we have different character sets and so on. I hope you understand it. Now it is the era of emojis, so there are a lot of emojis, and computer will also want to use some characters, some code for storing that emoji as well. So for using emojis, you have to extend your character set. So normally, if you want to use just English in your website, so the character set is UTF-8. If you don't specify it, normally it's the default is UTF-8. What is the viewport? Viewport is that area of a website which is visible to you. So now it's a whole page, right? And it's a whole page. This area is visible to me. So this is the viewport of this website. If you remember, you visit some government websites, or maybe some old school websites, you have noticed that on visiting that sites on mobile, you have to zoom out, zoom in things, right? So it it is like you are using that website on a laptop, but it's not a laptop, you are using it on a mobile. So why it happens? Because they have not configured the viewport. What this meta tag does, it sets the default viewport to the initial width of the website to the device width. You can see width is equal to device width. It is telling the website that you have to keep the width of the website equal to the width of the device. So it will not then it will, if you view on the mobile, you will just feel like it is made for the mobile. But if you visit that website on a laptop, so you will feel like it is made for the website. So this meta tag is basically doing that trick, and we are setting the initial scale on 1.0. There are some other meta tags as well. So the meta element is typically used to specify the character set, page description, keywords, author of the document, and viewport settings. And why these all things are necessary? Why we need page description, keywords, author of the document? It's for the SEO, for the search engine optimization. Basically, when you search, let's say, best tech institutes in tech institutes in, let's say, Palestine, right? So you will find some websites there are on top of other websites. So we have a lot of websites, a lot of services, or a lot of institutes that are in Palestine in your locality. Why some websites appear on top and why some on the bottom? Because of the SEO, search engine optimization. This website EduRank, the SEO of it is optimized. So the search engine, when you search best tech institutes in Palestine, the search engine matches this text more efficiently with this website, because they have the description matching to this text, they have the pages, they have the data, they have the keywords related to this text. So when a user search something, basically the search engine, whether it is Google, it is DuckDuckGo, whatever the search engine it is, it searches for the description of the page, the title of the page, the keywords of the page, and it tries to match that data with the search query. So the website that best matches with the search query is listed on the top, and those that are not very much related to the search query, although they are also related, but not as much as this website is related. So that is why it is showing it on the top, and others on the bottom. And you can see there are a lot of pages, and most of the websites, they will be on maybe on 100th page, right? So this is due to the SEO. And where we have to define those tags, those information, it is inside the meta tag. So you have to write meta, name, description, and content. Let's say I'm creating a website for a tech institute in Palestine. I will say um, this institute, like let's say Teach for Palestine Institute of Engineering and Technologies, and write the description, right, that can best match with your business. So you can write descriptions, you can write titles, you can configure the meta tags for keywords and so on. So those all information can be configured in the meta tags. As you can see, I have also written the examples. You can set the character set in the meta tag, you can set the keywords, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or in our case it's institute, best institute, tech institute, programming institute, whatever. These are the different keywords. So description, you can also specify the author. And this is a meta tag for automatically refreshing the page after each 30 seconds. I have changed it to 50, so it will refresh the website after each 50 seconds. All right, so that is all about meta tag. What are semantic tags and entities? Semantic, basically, if you search for the semantic keyword, semantic means that something's a word that has meaning, right? You have seen that when we are using tags, can you specify what is inside a div tag? No. We can't say what is inside a div tag. It could be links, it could be any text. We cannot specify what will be inside a div tag. But there are specific tags, all, although they are also text tags, but they are special purpose text tags. Like for example, there is a tag for address. If I write some address in it, let's say downtown main city Pakistan, let's say for example I write it an address, so it will appear just as I have declared. Where is it? It's in the about. Okay. So see, it's just made it italic, but what is the purpose of this tag? Like there is, if I write it like this, visually they are both the same thing. See, visually they are both the same. So what is this address tag doing? For okay, so this is basically a semantic tag, and this is not a semantic tag. In it, inside the address tag, you can say that there will be an address, but inside I you cannot say what will be inside it. So all of the HTML tags, you can divide all the HTML tags into semantic and non-semantic tags. What is the benefit? There is visually no difference of semantic tags, like the tags like address. There are also tags like section. If you want to divide this section into, like, there is also a section tag, right? If I want to isolate this section from this section, so I can do it virtually. Like virtually, by virtual I mean that there will be no difference in the UI, just we do it for our code purposes, for beautifying our code. We have divided this section, let's say this is a header section, this is, let's say, the content section, and so on. So these are the semantic tags. And why these semantic tags are necessary? These are necessary for the SEO. Again, they are for search engine. The search engine don't look for p tags and I tags. For address, it looks for address tag. So it's very good that instead of using I or p or something, or div or something, you write your address inside an address tag in a semantic tag. So that is basically a semantic tag. So semantic tag means a tag which has meaning, right? Which we know why we are using it. For example, there are tags, there are block code tags, there are code tags. So specialized tags. So those are semantic tags, and non-semantic tags that are general purpose tags. Okay, what are entities? For example, if you want to, let's say in this text you want to use the start angle bracket, but if you see, the HTML is treating this special character is starting is a tag, right? So you are seeing the tags are starting from an angle brackets and ending from the left angle bracket and ending on the right angle bracket. So what if I want to use this angle bracket in my text? How I can do it? So for this, for using special characters that have other meanings in the code, for using those characters inside your text, we have special codes which are called HTML entities. So if you search for HTML entity for, guys, give me 1 minute. Okay, so let's say I want to use angle bracket, so I will search HTML entity for angle bracket. Okay, so for left angle bracket, I have this entity int lt, right? So you can use also this, you can also use this, whatever you want to use. I will just copy it, and instead of writing angle bracket like this, I will use the code for angle bracket, which is nlt. And for the right angle bracket, I will use this less than and greater than. These are the HTML entity codes for these. I guess I have to. Okay, now let's refresh our page and let's see what happened. So see, the angle brackets are now inside, they are now inside our text. So instead of using special characters, you have to use the codes for it, which are called, those codes are called HTML entities. Simple it is. Now, coming to the media tags. What if I want to include some audio or video in my website? Easy peasy. Just like in the images, we had two options, right? I hope you remember it. If you want to show some image in our website, what two options we got? We can have the image on the internet. We can copy that link to other, we can copy the link to that image and we can paste it inside our image tag. So for example, in the contact.html, if I want to show an image, I have two options: either copy the source from the internet, the link copy the link from the internet and paste it over here, or bring the image over here and give the src of that local image. So you can say local and remote image. Just like that, in the audio and video takes, we have that two options: either copy that audio file from the internet, or download it, paste it, or paste it inside the folder of your project and give the src to it. So let's say I will say I'll copy an image, right? Forest image 4K. Okay, let me copy the address, copy image address, and let me paste it over here. Oh, such a big address. No man, I don't want it. I hope it's a little bit smaller. No, whatever. Let me save it and let me refresh the page. It is inside the contact, and you can see an images appeared over here. Now, what if we want to include some audio in our website? So for including an audio, okay. So for including an audio, we have audio take. And if you can see, it is also requiring the src attribute, and in src attribute we have to give the source path of the audio file. I guess we have, yeah. All right, let me search for an audio. Maybe I have some raw audio in my, let me copy it and let me paste it over here and rename it to audio, let's say audio.mp3. Now if I want to include this audio in my website, I have to give its path, which is audio.mp3. And by default, the audio component do not have any controls. So you have to write the controls attribute manually, and it will enable all the controls on that audio file. And you can see this is an audio file that I can play as well, right? Okay, you can also change the volume, and you can also change the playback speed. So that is how you insert an audio in your website. Same is for video. For, let's say you want to insert some video in your website. So video, configure the src attribute, which is let me also copy video over here, and I will rename it to video.mp4. video.mp4. Let's refresh it, and you can see this is a very long video, but there are no controls in it. You can see we can bring the controls by specifying the controls attribute over here, and let's refresh it, and now you can see the controls appeared over here. Also also, if you want to mute it, so you can configure the muted attribute as well. uh, so see, by default it is muted, and you can change. Also, if you want to autoplay it, like most of the websites, they have on their landing pages there are videos, and those videos are autoplayed. Even when the page is loaded, it is autoplayed, even if it is not clicked by the user to be played. So for autoplaying, the muted attribute is, I guess, necessary. So if you refresh it now, see, it is also auto playing. I refresh it again, see, it's auto playing. So that is the video attribute, video take, sorry, not attribute. All right, we have iframes. Back in the old days, in the 1990s, like 1995, 5, 6, 7, or 8, there was a very popular concept of frames. What does a frame means? For example, I have a website. I have two websites. Let's say one is related to physical classes, and another website is related to online classes. What if I want to show both the websites on a single page? So basically, on those old days, you you would you had the option to to show multiple websites on the same page. So let's say I am on the contact.html. I would have the option to show another website inside this contact us, literally in this contact us page, in my own page. So for those were called frames. Today we have the concepts of iframe. What if I want to show another website in my website? So for that I have to use iframe. And in the iframe tag, I can pass two attributes, multiple attributes, but the IDE by default, it configures two attributes, src and frame border. Frame border means how much width the frame border should have. By default, it can be 0, it can be 1 pixel, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. Now, what website you want to show? For example, I want to show https w3schools.org. So let's refresh it, and you can see the web page is might be temporarily down, or it may move to permanently to a new web. Why? Because I guess there, for security reasons, you cannot show other websites in your websites. Even you can show your website in your website. By by this I mean, inside the context contact us page, I can show the about us page as well. How? Let's me in the src, let me give about.html. So let's save it, let's refresh it, and see, you can see the about us page over here. So this is the iframe tag. Literally, it is a tag. See, I can go to the contact us page. It's a website. I can go to the home page and so on. I can configure the width and height as well. Let me change it to 5 pixels. And see, there is a border now. I can also, I guess there are width and height as well. Let's say 500 pixel, and the height is, let's say, 300 pixels. Let me refresh it, and now you can see the iframe over here. So contact us about. All right, so this is about the iframe. We have, what happened? Let me check. Oh, your call ends in 15 minutes. Guys, good news is that we will end our today's class very early, because I don't know how I managed to wrap it up so quickly. But we have learned a lot of concepts. There is another concept, which is HTML canvas for drawing different shapes. For example, you want to, let me show you some examples. Canvas examples. So let's say you want to create these type of images using HTML code, not using images. Like you will say that, hey, this is very easy. This is an image, right? So you can use images, but you know that images, they have a specific quality, and when you zoom in, zoom out, the quality can be compromised. But if you create graphics using the HTML code, those graphics would not be disturbed, because that are vector graphics. By vector means, let's say if I zoom this picture now, this picture of this boy, so the pixels will be disturbed. The quality of that image will not be as, the quality will not be improved, right? It will be the same, and the boy will not appear as clear as I want, because it will be very blurred. The vector images are those images, they are not disturbed by zooming, right? If you let's say zoom this button, this is a vector graphic, because it will not be disturbed by the zooming. The pixels will not be deteriorated by the zooming in this button. But the images, they are not vector graphics, so they are disturbed by the by zooming. So you can, using canvas, you can, basically canvas need JavaScript. So if you want to try it, copy this JavaScript code to your HTML file, and it will work fine. So, but you can draw a line, you can draw a circle using HTML canvas, you can draw a text, and so on. And there are very complex examples that people have created amazing things using HTML canvas. So let me, impressive HTML5 canvas experiment. So let's check this. Orbital trails. Let us check this. See, see this radar type of animation. These are created, this animation is created using the HTML canvas. You can see the HTML file is so simple. See, over here, there is just one canvas, one link, which is this clear or trails or this. And these all graphics, they are due to this canvas. And they have configured the canvas using the JavaScript. So you say you basically write JavaScript code for creating your for creating graphics in your canvases. And canvas, you know, this is a basic in real life, canvas is the board or the thing on which we paint. So same concept is over here. Canvas is lets you draw something in the website. And how we draw it using JavaScript, right? So I will not go into the details of it. You can check different impressive examples of canvases like this neon hexagon patterns. This is also a very wonderful example, and the code is also available. See how much neat and clean, how much impressive it is. And this is all created using HTML canvas. So yeah, that is HTML canvas. mm, all right, that's it for today. I guess I have covered all the details regarding these topics. If you guys have any question, you can ask, or we are all good to say goodbye to each other. Yeah, go ahead, please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And nice question. Basically, there is this 32-bit or 64. Maybe you have seen your operating system. Let me show it to you. When I right click on my PC and I say show more options and properties, you can check yours as well. You will see the, where is it? You will see the system type 64-bit operating system and x64 based processor. What does it mean? It means that a single instruction in this processor contains 64 bits. So you have remember, if you are using Pentiums or dual core or those stuff, most of those computers were 32-bit. So you can guess that those computers were not capable of doing much stuff as today's computer can do. Like my Core i5 can do much wonders than than the Pentium 4 or 5, right? Why? Because there is one main reason, other to the computer organization and the architecture. Another reason is of the character set. Since my background is electrical, so I can more brief you on this. I will just give you a quick example. The first computer in this world was 8051. It was a very small microprocessor that was invented in Intel. It was an 8-bit processor. So when we say 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit with a microprocessor, it doesn't mean that it represents a single character using 8 bits. 8-bit microprocessor means that one instruction in this microprocessor will contain 8 bits. I hope I have made this clear. Let's say you have 16-bit microprocessor, you have 32-bit microprocessor, you have 64-bit microprocessor. So 64-bit microprocessor means that a single instruction in this microprocessor will contain 64 bits. So 64, using 64 bits, you have a lot of combinations. Means you can have a lot of instructions in possible in this microprocessor, and it can do wonders, right? Inside, so we know that there is not just a microprocessor inside a computer. There is a microprocessor, there is RAM memory, there is a hard disk which is secondary memory. So RAM is called primary memory. So in the memory, if you are saving characters, so those characters can be 8-bit. It can save it in 8 bits, it can save it in 16 bits, it can save it in 32 bits, it can save it in 64 bits. But the instruction set, it will always be that bit which is specified by your microprocessor. So if you have microprocessor of 32 bits, the instruction set, the one instruction will always contain 32 bits, but the data, it ranges from 8 bits to multiples of 2 bits, like 8 bit, the 16 bit, 32 bit, and 64 bit. So in the basic block, a computer can save very basic information like just one character in minimum 8 bits, like in 1 byte, not less than that. Like you can save something in 4 bits, minimum 8 bits. No problem. Any other questions? Okay, so we are all good. Kindly, whatever you see, you learn, kindly practice it. And the frequency of practice, like if you want a secret of learning a thing, I will tell, learning something requires repetition. Like in Quran, even Allah says that وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So everything, if you want everything to learn it efficiently, you have to do it repeatedly. So for the repetition, when you study the class, practice it immediately. After some time, like in a day, not in two, after 2 days or 3 days, on the next day, please practice the same thing. And in the week, like if you learned, let's say, HTML audio takes or media takes today, also specify some time tomorrow to repeat or revise those topics that you have studied today, and then revise the same HTML audio concepts or media concept after 5 days or 6 days. After that, inshallah, it will be kind of permanent in your brain. But don't just go ahead and leave whatever you have learned in back in the days. It will not work, because everything that we are going we will be studying moving forward, those all things depend on you, on the previous concepts that we have studied. So I hope you have got the concept. No, no. You you need to understand the purpose of the takes, and by the passage of time, when you practice this more and more, you will remember all the takes basically. But remember the basic takes, but not all of them. With the passage of time, when you use it a lot, it will be automatically then remembered by you. All right. Thank you guys for your time. وإياكم. جزاك الله. Thank you guys for your time. Inshallah, I hope that we will, with this class, we have ended our HTML lectures. In the next class, we will be starting beautifying our websites using CSS. So, till that, I want you to practice what we have learned so far. And inshallah, let's rock then CSS. Okay, take good care of yourself. Inshallah, see you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.